Hello, everyone, and happy Memorial Day in the United States of America. Um, I've got to thinking, what would be a good way to mark Memorial Day? Well, my father didn't die in any wars or anything, but he did serve in World War II in Korea. And then after Korea, he went on to be an instructor at the Army Medical Equipment Repair School in Japan. And of course, here he's teaching some electronics things and on this picture. And I thought, okay, let's just do a video with two things in one. I'm very fascinated by the new Adobe Photoshop beta uh, generative fill for photo repair. And to be honest with you, is like you'll see in a moment, it's rather scary. Some people are loving this. There's been a lot of hype the past week. Some people are loving this. Some people are like, okay, this is kind of going a little too far. And it's like, so there's a lot of mixed feelings about it, but Adobe has definitely nailed the AI thing. Now, personally, I think the AI thing is kind of being overblown as a buzzword or buzz letters or whatever. So, but anyway, you're not here to hear my opinion. You're here to see me old dad here. I'm going to repair a picture. Now, in order to use the new generative fill thing, of course, you're going to have to get the Adobe Photoshop beta. And if you have a subscription to Adobe Photoshop, you can download it from the Creative Cloud. And you'll see it in there. All you got to do is just click on All Apps, Photoshop Beta, and then download it from there. And it will open separately from the current version of Photoshop. Um, so anyway, um, once you open a picture that you want to fix, you're going to see this new little bar down here, this contextual bar. See it? And you can move it all over the place. Put on top of my dad like a hat. Okay, so, and this is supposed to help you better mask and other things. Now, if this isn't there when you open Photoshop, the beta version, then you can always go to Window and it'll be down here at the bottom, contextual menu taskbar. Window, contextual taskbar. And you can move it pretty much wherever you want. So for my sake, for viewers' sake, I'm going to move it up here. Now, you can always click on the little dot, dot, dot and pin the bar in one spot if you want. And then why it went back down there, I do not know. Oh, Mark. Let's see if we can pin it here. Pin bar position. There we go. So this is a very simple process in photo restoration. Now, a little bit of history. Um, my dad in the early 2000s, I think it was, sent off a bunch of his album photo prints to be scanned by a service. And I, after my father passed away, I acquired pretty much all of these digitized images, and they were digitized with the very basic. This image is only 4.5. Its actual size probably as like a Kodak Brownie or something, an old school black and white. But it was at 72 DPI, yada yada. It was early on. People just didn't have the gigabytes or terabytes to store. So anyway, I guess I don't know, whatever. Um, so let's get on with it, Mark. Get on with it. The first thing that you do for generative fill is you isolate the area you want to fill. Now, this was obviously cut or torn out a piece of tape, this corner here, all right, as you can see. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use the polygonal lasso tool on this. And as long as I make sure I have a little material inside the marquee, or marching ants, as some call them, I'm good to go. Okay, so here we are. We've isolated this area right here. And once you do that, it's going to offer you generative fill down here. So what else is there to do other than push the button? Okay. And now it offers you this little thing to where you can describe, what you're trying to do. But out of the box, all you really have to do is hit generate. And let's see the results. This is real time. Of course, I've got a fairly quick GPU, and I have 32 gig of RAM, so I don't know if it'd be slower or faster on your computer. But from the videos I've seen on YouTube, this is about the correct speed. Now, this is crazy stuff. As you can see, not only did it fill in this corner, but it also predicted that this line would match this line here. Let's look at that. It knew that there was a possibility that this line was here. And it knew there was a possibility that this was complete too. And so it generated that. I'm like, okay, that's nuts. Now, once you generate, that's not all. I mean, you can let's move it here. It also once it's generated, it offers you variations. Like down here in these little cubes inside the properties, you'll see variation 1, variation 2, variation 3, and you get to decide on which one is best for you. And of course, in this case, it's variation number 1. All right, so I want to save this. Save as. Okay. As you can see, these are a lot of my restoration files. This is the beta icon on a PC. So I'm going to just save and replace my practice. Yes, I did practice before the video. Who doesn't? All right, so we got that part done. So let's go down here to this corner with this very astute gentleman who has obviously asked my father a question about something. And now we got this right here that we need to repair. So here we go again. I'm just going to use the regular lasso tool here. Okay, and it's okay to come off the screen. So I pretty much am just isolating this. Let's see what it does. Okay. Generative fill, generate. And it's interesting, it takes about the same amount of time. My grandfather, I have a photo of my grandfather that's just, it was scary. I'll show y'all that sometime. Or I might show you in this session too. That's crazy. So let's go through the variations over here. That looks pretty close, doesn't it? Because we know that's the back of a chair, probably. Oh, that's crazy scary. So I'm liking that. But part of me doesn't feel good with any of it. So what I'm going to do, and you can also generate over a generate. Yeah, let's do that. Let's show what that looks like. So I'm not the professional photographer with the big giant microphone, and all. I'm the guy that's in the trenches doing photography. So let's let's just see what it does when we do this. Let's see what it does. Let's see what it does. We're going to generate the fill, generate, and let's see what the quote-unquote AI thinks about what we just selected. Okay, it's really thinking now. It's like, It's like, oh, let's get rid of the chair altogether. that's that's kind of cool because this dude is like leaning against this. So yeah, I don't like any of that. So I'm going to select the generative layer over here and just dump it. Okay. I think I'm going to keep this one. Okay, and I'm going to save it. So here we are. Now all you got to do is come in and just do a little touch-up work on spots and things like that and all. And maybe do your color correction, maybe add a better border. But personally, I don't like making my restored photos too perfect. Because that's all part of it. It's just, I want it to be old. I want it to be like it was when a person took this photograph. So I'm going to save this, and I'm going to also show you the one of my grandfather on my mother's side, my paternal grandfather. Where is it? Okay, here we go. Here's the JPEG. Now, I've got all my stuff backed up to a drive, too. So this, too, was a photograph in the album that my father had scanned. And I'm going to go ahead and save this as a Photoshop file. And there was my practice one, and save. Yeah. Okay. So here we go again. Now, this is what's really spooky about the generative fill on. I mean, I really went, whoa. Okay, this is the original photograph. Nothing's been done to it other than scanned, and I think I adjusted the contrast a little. But this is my mom's dad. He's also a veteran. He is at the Augusta Veterans Hospital in Augusta, Georgia, where he is a patient. And he suffered from several things. My family tried to hide it with war things, but he did have some PTSD. He was in the Navy. He was on USS Texas. He got out of the Navy in California and came back home, but he spent a lot of time with either PTSD or depression or something in the Veterans Hospital. I never really met him. He died in the 70s. And my son is named after him. And it's really hard to talk about him while I'm sitting here staring straight at him. So he's on these stairs here, and if you look how these stairs are, we'll do a before and after. If you look how these stairs are, it's kind of like they curve. And it's important that after we do the generation, you'll note that, see, there's this like weird little thing here going on with the railings, the pipe railings on the wall. And there's this weird little thing going on here with the railings on the wall. So that's part of the photograph. And at first I thought, okay, the generative fill kind of like made another little thing or did a lot of it, but it didn't. So here's what we're going to do with this, just to show how spooky it is. Out of the box, 2 button clicks. Okay, select all, Control A on the layer. Let me back up my layer here, just in case. I always like to do that. Select all on the layer and just do a generative fill and see what Adobe thinks about fixing this picture. And what you're going to see is scary. I fell out of my chair last night when I was practicing this. Ah, well, it is the beta version. At least it didn't crash it. All right, let's do this. Let's not select all. Control D. And then let's come in and marquee it with the polygonal lasso tool. So what I'm going to do is just make sure I've got something to work with here by going around the edges. And one thing I'm sure that the generative fill does, unlike predictive, content aware fill that you'll see, content aware fill, I think, just uses what, I don't know what it does, but content aware fill will not do what this does. Oh, crap. I did it wrong. Okay. I'm talking about content aware fill, so therefore I was going to. All right. Well, let's put the marquee back. Let's put the marquee back. I'm going to go to history, polygonal lasso, and it's like all I have to do here is just invert it. Now let's see what we got. Okay, generative fill. All right, and I want to do a describe thing. Fill the corners. Fill the corners. Generate. Let's see what that does. A lot of veterans in my family. My uncle Boston was in World War One. BK here was in the Navy just after World War One. Okay, see how crazy this is? Look at this. It even finished the window. Okay, now just to get a good idea of what just happened before, after. Look at the window. This is creepy. Okay. Before, after. The only thing I see different is it added a little bit of a thin line there. But that is just bloody nuts. It even finished the railing. We come down here. It kind of did a weird blend. It will do this like weird blendy kind of thing sometimes. But you know, for beta, for us to look at and try, this is crazy. Now you got to also, when you're trying Photoshop beta, you have to be online. So if you're messing around with it in a coffee shop or something, it's good to be online on your laptop. And they take live input from you. Okay, let's try this again. Okay. Uh, I'm going to just do the top part to see if we can fix our little window issue that we had. Of course, it can be fixed with the clone tool or the, you know, the healing tool and all that stuff. But here, I want to see if we can just take this top part and see what we can do with that. Click Generative Fill, Generate. I'm not going to describe anything this time because I think it took these little keywords and just oh, what, like 30 seconds maybe it does. It takes 30 seconds to do this. Okay, it's thinking toward the end here. Oh man. Okay, I don't know about that. Okay, let's see what variations we have to work with. None. So it looks like the more we work with, the looks like the more we work with, the weirder it gets. Okay, I'm gonna dump that one. All right, let's try this again, except choose just a little bit. All right, we're going to choose just a little bit because it doesn't read just what's inside the marquee, obviously. I could be wrong. Let's try this one. No, oh, nice quick actions and stuff. Okay, here we go. Yeah, I know. I know. All right, let's try this. Pardon me. I always drink coffee during the load bar thing. This episode is brought to you by absolutely nothing. Commercial free. I really like what we ended up with. There we go. That's better. See, so it still kept the edges of the photograph instead of filling in the corners. So um, let's try the bottom part here. Generate. You can click up here too if you want to, and avoid all the typing in. I mean, it's really cool and it's really fun to just mess around with. But I can see where it has its um, editing properties. Okay, so it seems the AI has put there it is. Okay, so the first variation, like it thinks maybe you want to put something there. Um, it knows those are probably legs and that the trombone slide goes farther down. But I kind of like that one. Okay, so let's have a look at BK here. All right, so he's leaning up against some stairs. The window looks pretty good. Um, I'm going to take this first layer, dump it. And another cool thing, too, is your generative layers. You can merge them. You go ahead and click merge, and voila, it merges it down and flattens it. So all you get is what Adobe thinks was missing, which is kind of cool. Look at that. That's pretty cool. So there you go. There's BK, and there's Carl at the medical maintenance school in Japan. I think it was Camp Zama or something near Yokohama. And this was in the early 50s here. That is just, I found this to be the creepiest one right here. It just, I'm like, look at that. The bottom corner. What the? This corner? How crazy is that? Now, you know what's funny? Is when my dad was drawing this chalk line, how he went across and went underneath that nail. So the only thing I see really is this. It kind of curves down, but that can be easily fixed with cloning. But other than that, yeah, that's creepy, man. Look at that. So I highly suggest having fun with this. Whether you're a professional or you're just doing family photos and all, go and get the Photoshop Beta Edition and try out Generative Fill. It does all kinds of fun, really groovy things and all. So thank you for watching my video. I hope you're having a great day or night out there. And hopefully, I'll post another video and see you soon. Thanks. Bye bye.